Hello, this is Sir Riel, and in this video, I am going to discuss to you for week number 7. Topic will be consciousness. So, to begin this one, let us first define what is the meaning of consciousness. So, consciousness is a person's awareness of everything that is going on around him or her at any given moment. So, keyword for consciousness is what we call as awareness. Take note. Meaning to say, you are aware of something, you are aware of everything that happens in your external world. Alam mo yung mga bagay na nangyayari sa'yo. Halimbawa, kinurot ka, nasaktan ka. You are conscious kasi alam mo na kinurot ka at nasaktan ka. And another example ay halimbawa, sinaktan ka emotionally. Um, Sinabihan ka ng masasakit na salita coming from your parents or even your friends. Nagdamdam ka, nagtampo ka, nasaktan ka. So meaning to say, you are conscious, you are aware, alert ka doon sa mga bagay na nangyayari sa paligid mo. That is what we call as consciousness. Again, keyword is awareness, meaning to say you are aware of something and it is something to do with being aware of everything. Now, meron tayong tinatawag na two types of consciousness. First is the waking consciousness. Waking consciousness is a state in which thoughts, feelings, and sensations are clear and organized, and the person feels alert. So in waking consciousness, this is when the individual is awake and you are also alert to your stimuli. It includes your thoughts, your perception, and even your feelings. Halimbawa, during the face-to-face classes, no, nagtuturo yung teacher mo sa harapan. Waking consciousness, lahat ng informations coming from her or from him ay nare-receive mo. And even yung mga distractions sa paligid mo, nare-receive mo rin siya. Meaning to say, ito yung tinatawag nating waking consciousness. Clear ang lahat sa'yo. And also, you are feel alert sa mga bagay na nangyayari sa paligid mo. Now, can you ask yourself while listening sa akin? Sige nga. Waking consciousness ba? Naiintindihan ba? Pumapasok ba sa utak? Okay. So next, another type of consciousness is what we call as the altered state of consciousness. Altered state of consciousness is a state in which there is a shift in the quality or pattern of mental activity as compared to waking consciousness. Unlike in waking consciousness na clear and organized ang lahat, in outer state of consciousness naman, nagkakaroon ng different when it comes to awareness, emotions, and perception. Kumbaga yung mental activity ng brain natin ay nagbabago. Halimbawa, nagbabanding kayo ng mga friends mo. At may isa, ang pinag-uusapan nyo doon is about mathematics, no? Tapos may isa kang friend na biglang magsisingit na ang layo sa usapan na hindi niya alam mismo na hindi pala yun yung pinag-uusapan. I hope na naka-experience na kayo ng ganyan, no? Para mas mabigyan natin ng example itong altered state of consciousness. Kumbaga, may mga times talaga na even though you are awake, pero nawawala ka rin sa sarili mo, nagiging lutang ka. Another example to this one, no? May mga bagay talaga tayong ginagawa na hindi mo alam na nagawa mo siya. Halimbawa, may pinuntahan kang isang lugar, tapos sabi mo, bakit kaya ako pumunta dito? Okay? Or even, pupunta ka ng kwarto, tapos may kukunin ka. Tapos pagdating mo sa kwarto, hindi mo na alam kung ano yung kukunin mo. No? Biglang from waking consciousness na alam mo, very clear sa'yo kung ano yung kukuhanin mo, in altered state of consciousness, biglang nawala. Pero you are awake. Okay? So now let us proceed with circadian rhythm. So circadian rhythm is a cycle of bodily rhythm that occurs over a 24-hour period, coming from the word circa, meaning about, and diem, meaning day. So in circadian rhythm, ito yung body movement, yung 24-hour cyclic rhythm na ginagawa ng isang tao and even animals. Yung the time na gumising ka, from the time na inaantok ka, na matutulog ka, from the time na gigising ka ulit, from the time na inaantok ka at matutulog ka, and etc. That is what we call as circadian rhythm. So in circadian rhythm, so hypothalamus ay responsible for this one. It is a tiny section of the brain that influences the glandular system. So paano ba yung nangyayari dito? In hypothalamus, it is responsible for controlling your circadian rhythm or circadian rhythm. Kumbaga, si hypothalamus yung nagsasabi sa'yo kung dapat ka na bang matulog or dapat ka na bang um, gumising and etc. So look at this one. We have suprachiasmatic nucleus. It is deep within the hypothalamus. So nasa part siya ng hypothalamus. Kumbaga, tiny region siya of the brain inside the thalamus na tinatawag natin ito as internal clock that tells people when to wake up and when to fall asleep. Okay? So that is why every Mondays to Fridays, no, mas mas maaga yung tulog and then mas maaga rin yung gising. Kasi nakaset na yung brain natin na kailangan kong gumising ng maaga kasi maraming gagawin or may pasok. Unlike in Saturdays and Sundays na mas mahaba yung tulog, ganyan. Kasi alam mo na rest day, okay, na walang masyadong gagawin. So in hypothalamus, it tells the pineal gland to secrete melatonin. That's why person feels sleepy. So for this one naman, sinasabi ni hypothalamus mo na kay pineal gland na mag-produce ng melatonin. Yung melatonin, that is a hormone that regulates the sleep. Kaya tayo inaantok tayo. Halimbawa, nasa loob ka ng klase, no? During the face-to-face classes, yung teacher mo nagsasalita, nagdi-discuss about the lesson. And then ikaw, nakatingin ka lang sa kanya. Yung body mo, yung blood pressure, yung heart mo, lahat ay naka-rest, kumbaga nasa low level. So tendency kapag nakikinig ka lang tapos yung attention mo is coming from your teacher lang, no? Inaantok tayo. Sinasabi ng hypothalamus mo na naka-rest yung body mo, tendency magpo-produce si pineal gland ng hormone which is the melatonin. That is why we feel sleepy. Inaantok tuloy tayo. Unlike kapag ikaw yung gumagawa ng isang bagay, ikaw yung mas more on nagpa-function yung brain natin, yung body natin, mas active tayo, hindi tayo inaantok. No? Pero pag nagre-rest na yung body natin, yan, yung hormones sa katawan natin, nagpo-produce na siya, kumakalat na siya, papunta sa brain natin, kaya medyo nagkakaroon na tayo ng hallucination, no? Medyo inaantok na. Okay, now let us proceed with another one. So next, let's talk about the microsleeps. Okay. Microsleeps, brief sidesteps into sleep lasting only for a few seconds. So ito ay from 1 second hanggang 30 seconds, wherein an individual fails to respond to some arbitrary sensory input and becomes unconscious. Kumbaga may mga tendency talaga in our life na bigla na lang mag-shutdown yung ating brain. Like for a couple of seconds, this is what we call as microsleep. Kumbaga, bigla kang malulutang. No? Halimbawa, nagtuturo yung iyong teacher, although ayan, nare-receive mo naman yung informations, pero medyo inaantok ka na nga lang. Tapos biglang, hindi na lang magpa-function yung um, sensory organ mo, like hindi siya makaka-receive ng informations, bigla siyang nag-shutdown, nag-stop siyang bigla for a couple of seconds. That is what we call as microsleep. Okay? Again, microsleep is an individual fails to respond to some arbitrary sensory input and becomes unconscious. Hindi mo namalayan kung ano yung nangyayari sa paligid mo. Kumbaga, in short, nakatulog. No? Awake ka, pero nakatulog yung utak natin. Now, let's talk about the sleep deprivation. Any significant loss of sleep can result in irritability and problems when it comes to concentration. So, ibig sabihin ng sleep deprivation, kulang sa tulog. And kapag kulang ka sa tulog, as you can see, nahihirapan din mag-function yung iyong utak. Nahihirapang mag-receive ng informations ang brain natin because kulang nga sa tulog. Okay? I just want to remind everyone na kapag sobrang pagod na yung brain, no, kailangan mag-rest. Hindi pwedeng pilitin natin yung isang bagay kasi hindi mo rin yan, hindi yan papasok sa iyo or hindi ma-receive ng um, sensory organs mo because pagod na nga. Okay? So now look at this figure, figure 4.1, sleep patterns of an infants and adults. So this will be the waking hours. So this will be the REM sleep or the rapid eye movement sleep. And we have the NREM sleep or the non-rapid eye movement sleep. Here is the hours. And this is the age in years. Pansinin natin. Okay, later i-discuss natin kung ano nga ba yung REM sleep, ano ba yung non-REM sleep, ano ba yung pinagkaiba nilang dalawa. As you can see, ito yung tinatawag nating waking hours, yung gising ka. Ito naman yung hours na tulog ka. Kung mapapansin natin, habang papatanda tayo, look at this one, mas umiikli yung desire natin na matulog tayo. Okay? Pansinin natin yung mga lolo't lola natin or even yung mga kahit sino matatanda, ang aga nilang gumising. Ano? Kumukonti na lang ang kanilang mga tulog. Ayan. So now, let us proceed with another one. Okay. So we have adaptive theory. It is a theory of sleep proposing that animals and humans evolved sleep patterns to avoid predators by sleeping when predators are most active. So pag sinabi nating adaptive theory, pwede natin siya tawagin as survival theory or survival of the fittest. Ibig sabihin, this is the ability to adapt to changes in its environment and adjust accordingly over time. So in adaptive theory, kapag less yung predator, mas mahaba yung tulog mo. Just like yung bears, even snakes, lion, no, tigers. So mas mahaba yung tulog nila kasi mas feel nila na sila ay safe. Unlike dun sa mga mas maliliit na animals na lagi silang gising, lagi silang alert kasi may tendency na um, kainin sila ng predators. Okay. Again, in adaptive theory, this is a theory um, or we can call this one as survival or survival of the fittest. This is the ability to adapt to changes in its environment and adjust accordingly over time. So, nag-a-adjust tayo. It depends doon sa predators na meron tayo. So, next. How about the restorative theory? In restorative theory, it is a theory of sleep, proposing that sleep is necessary to the physical health of the body and serves to replenish chemicals and repair cellular damage. Okay. So in restorative theory naman, it claims that sleep is used to repair the body including your brain. So ibig sabihin, no, once na sobrang na-use na natin yung ating brain, napapagod din yan. In restorative theory, kailangan daw nating ipahinga in order for us para ma-refresh yung brain, ma-replenish yung chemicals, and also ma-repair natin yung cellular damage. Just like, kapag nakikinig ka sa teacher mo and then sobrang dami na ng informations na pumasok sa utak mo, so wala ka nang nare-receive na informations coming from him or from her, diba? Ibig sabihin, pagod na yung utak natin kasi sobrang nagamit na siya. So, we need to rest, okay? In order for us para ma-refresh ulit yung ating brain. Okay, pansinin natin ito, no? Kapag sobrang antok na antok tayo during the classes, matulog ka lang ng mga 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. Kapag nakapagpahinga na yung brain natin, then makinig ka ulit sa teacher mo. Pansinin niyo. Okay? Mas pumapasok na yung informations. Kasi yung cellular damage na nagawa mo during the waking hours na nagpa-function yung utak mo ay na-repair na kahit paano. No, nagkaroon ng rest. Okay. So next. Okay. So here is the REM sleep and NREM sleep. Ano nga bang pinagkaiba nilang dalawa? So look at this one. So when we talk about REM sleep or rapid eye movement, it is a stage of sleep in which the eyes move rapidly under the eyelids and the person is typically experiencing a dream. So probably when we talk about rapid eye movement, more or less mga 25% ito. Look at this one. Okay. 25% ito ng ating pagtulog. So probably kung natutulog tayo ng 10 o'clock PM, yung REM sleep nasa bandang siya, 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. hanggang magising na tayo. Okay? Paki-note natin iyan. So how about NREM sleep? Or, for a while, or non-rapid eye movement sleep. So any of the stages of sleep that do not include REM. So meron tayong stages of sleep. So meron tayong tinatawag na N1 or non-REM sleep, stage 1 and 2, and 3 and 4. Okay. Take note na lang ito. So basically, when we talk about NREM sleep, kung yung rapid eye movement natin ay makukuha natin na bago tayo gumising, so probably 3 to 6 a.m., yung non-REM sleep naman is from 10, yung matutulog ka pa lang, up until 3 a.m. Okay, let us elaborate pa more itong discussion natin about the sleep, stages of sleep. Okay. So, but before we proceed to the stages of sleep, let us talk about the brainwave patterns. So, look at this one. We have electroencephalograph or the EEG. So it allows scientists to see the brain wave activity as a person passes through the various stages of sleep and to determine what type of sleep the person has to enter. Ibig sabihin, isa siyang machine na ang function niya talaga is alamin kung nasang stages na ba tayo ng ating pagtulog. So here is the waves. Pag sinabi nating waves, just like this one. Ayan. Para malaman natin nasang stage na tayo. So first, we have the alpha waves. When we talk about the alpha waves, it is a brain waves that indicates a state of relaxation or light sleep. Next, how about the theta waves? It is a brain waves indicating the early stages of sleep. while the delta waves, it is a long, slow waves that indicated the deepest stage of sleep. So let us see later kung ano ba yung itsura nitong mga waves nito. Okay. Okay, here. So here is the brain activity during sleep. As you can see here, we have beta waves, awake. Ibig sabihin, conscious pa tayo nito. After, we have here alpha waves. You are awake and relaxed. Just like papatulog ka pa lang, tapos nag-iisip ka pa lang ng some images bago matulog. And then, papasok si stage number 1. We have the theta waves. So at this stage, ayan, medyo nag-hallucinate na. Tapos in stage number 2, we have spindles. Sige, later, ipapaliwanag pa natin siya. I just want you to see lang yung mga examples ng waves. Ayan, we have the delta and theta waves. We have the delta waves. Diba sabi natin kanina, ito na yung low, tapos slow, and mas long na yung waves niya. Kasi medyo relax. Kumbaga, tulog na tayo with this one. And here is what we call as the Rem sleep. Okay. I just want you to know na probably yung mga dreams natin during these stages, ayan, yung mga non-REM sleep, hindi natin natatandaan kadalasan yung napapanaginipan natin during sa stage na to. Unlike in REM sleep, so mas yung yung tipong 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. natulog mo na after mong magising, mas natatandaan na natin siya. At some point ay medyo nagiging conscious na tayo. Unlike in stage number 3 and number 4 na sobrang deep talaga nung tulog natin. Okay? Ayan. So in stage number 1 or non-rapid eye movement, stage 1, ito yung tinatawag natin na light sleep. Take note. So in light sleep, may experience hypnagogic images, hallucinations, or vivid visual events, and also hypnic jerk, such as knees, legs, or whole body jerks. So in stage number 1, okay, imagine natin para mas tumatak sa utak natin. So kapag papatulog ka pa lang, no, of course, hihiga ka. Pero hindi ka pa, pagkahiga mo, hindi naman tulog ka agad. Nagkakaroon pa tayo ng uh, some hallucinations or vivid visual events, like kung ano yung gusto mong isipin. Halimbawa, yung crush mo, iniisip mo pa na kasama mo siya, halimbawa, or even yung favorite game mo na Mobile Legends, no? Ini-imagine pa natin paano maglaro nun. Or anything na related sa'yo. Nagkakaroon pa tayo ng ng hallucination, ng um, kumbaga, yung images na yon seen as pwedeng people or even anything na related to you, nag-i-imagine pa tayo. That is what we call as hypnagogic images. And even hypnic jerk also, yung tipong para kang mahuhulog, falling, ano. So this is what we call as stage number 1. So kadalasan na experience ito yung bigla kang mahuhulog, yung para napapasipa ka, ganyan. Kapag nasa bus tayo, no, nasa buses, you know what? Ayan, minsan talaga sobrang haba ng biyahe, medyo napapatulog tayo. So, medyo light pa lang yung sleep mo. Yung tipong nag-i-imagine ka pala, nag-hallucinate ka pa. Tapos, bigla ka mapapasipa or na feeling mo na mahuhulog ka, ayan. So that is what we call as stage number 1 or non-rapid eye movement stage 1. So next, we have stage number 2. Kung yung stage number 1, it has something to do with vivid imagination, no, or vivid visual events. In stage number 2 naman, meron tayong tinatawag na sleep spindles. So in sleep spindles, a brief burst of activity only lasting a second or two. So medyo mabilis lang ito. Okay? So kumbaga in stage number 1, sabihin na natin halimbawa mga 5 minutes. In stage number 2 naman, this burst of activity only lasting for a second or two. So medyo mas kaunti siya compared to stage number 1. For this naman, nagkakaroon naman tayo ng sleep talking or even teeth grinding. Nagsasalita na, no? Kumbaga, unlike in stage number 1 na vivid ang imagination, hallucination, bago matulog, dito naman, you are unconscious na talaga. Hindi mo na alam kung ano yung nangyayari sa'yo. That is why napapasalita na tayo or nagtitit grinding na tayo. Next. Again ito ay part ng NREM. Take note. Or non-rapid eye movement. So next tayo. So in stage number 3 and 4 or non-rapid eye movement stages 3 and 4, we have what we call as delta waves. Diba sinabi natin ito yung long, yung low, yung mas relaxed na, deepest waves. Ayan. Deepest stage of sleep. So 50% or more of waves are delta waves. Body at lowest level of functioning, time at which growth occurs. In stage number 1, halimbawa 10 o'clock, 10:05 p.m. natulog ka, nagkaroon ng hallucination, ng some imagination. Tapos 10:07, no? Nung tulog ka na talaga, nagkaroon ng sleep talking, stage number 2. Then after nun, papasok na si stages 3 and 4 na halos ikaw ay tulog na tulog na. So medyo mahaba itong stages 3 and 4. So yung body natin at lowest level, even yung heart natin, even yung blood pressure natin, bumabagsak na siya lahat. Kasi nga, nagpapahinga na talaga yung body natin. So next. So after nung stages 3 and 4, halimbawa ay andito na tayo sa 3 a.m. Imagine, 3 a.m. Dito na papasok si REM sleep or rapid eye movement sleep. Sinasabi natin when we talk about REM sleep, it is a paradoxical sleep or high level of brain activity. Kumbaga in REM sleep, nagkakaroon na tayo ng electrical activity ng brain. Nagpapalitan na sila maigi ng informations kahit na ikaw ay unconscious. Even though may mga naka-shutdown sa brain natin, kaya hindi na natin alam kung ano yung mga informations. Pero may mga nagsasabi na mas active daw ang brain natin kapag tulog, lalo na dito sa REM sleep. That is why, no, for this one, ang dami ng napapanaginipan, tapos naghahalo-halo na yung panaginip mo, hindi na siya stable or stagnant. Okay? So next we have what we call as rapid eye movement rebound. So in rapid eye movement rebound, it increased amount of REM sleep after being deprived of REM sleep on earlier nights. So ang ginagawa ni REM rebound or rapid eye movement rebound, nag-i-increase pa siya ng more on rapid eye movement. So tendency ay mas lumalalim yung yung tulog. But at the same time, mas naglalaro pa yung yung story doon sa brain natin habang tulog tayo. Okay? So, ano lang tayo, short recap. In stage number 1, light sleep pa lang, some imaginations. In stage number 2, sleep spindles. Meron na tayong sleep talking. In stages number 3 and 4, nandito yung deepest waves. Kumbaga unconscious na talaga tayo. And then after nun, papasok na si rapid eye movement. Nagkakaroon na ng mas high level ng brain activity, yung electrical brain activity na meron tayo, mas nagpapalitan na ng informations coming from our brain even though we are unconscious, but still sila ay nagfa-function pa rin. So next tayo. Okay. So let's talk about naman some sleep disorders, and hopefully na hindi kayo nakakaranas ng mga ganitong disorders. So first, we have nightmares. I just want to remind everyone na hindi porket na experience mo is meron ka na. Pero kapag yan ay palaging nangyayari sa'yo, no? May may something abnormality na nangyayari between your body and also your brain. And kapag ikaw ay feeling mo na palagi na siyang nangyayari sa'yo, you need to consult some professionals, like psychiatrists or even psychologists. Ayan. So first, we have nightmares. So I know that you already have ideas about what is nightmares. It is a bad dreams occurring during REM sleep. I don't know if naka-experience na kayo nito na feeling mo totoo siya. Na feeling mo parang siyang spirit na lalapit sa'yo. Tapos parang tunay siya. Na ikaw hindi makagalaw yung katawan. Ano? So kapag palagi siyang nangyayari sa'yo na lagi siyang dumadalaw sa panaginip mo, ganyan yung thinking natin. So that is a sleep disorder na. Okay? So next, we have the rapid eye movement behavior disorder. So mechanism that blocks the movement of the voluntary muscle fails, allows the person to trash around or even get up and act out nightmares. So just to make it simple, in rapid eye movement behavior disorder, andito na yung tinatawag natin na kung ano yung panaginip mo, ina-acting out mo siya. Halimbawa, nananaginip ka ng nagbabarilan, yan, or action, or even superheroes na nakipaglaban, tapos ginagaya mo siya. No? Sumisipa ka rin habang tulog ka, or even may sinasabi ka kung ano yung nasa panaginip mo, ina-acting out natin. So that is a sleep disorder. Tinatawag natin itong rapid eye movement behavior disorder. Okay, next. Next, we have sleepwalking or sonambolism. It is episode of moving around or walking around in one's sleep. Occurs in deep sleep, more common among children than adults. So in sleepwalking, I know na you already know what is this one. We are unconscious, bigla kang tatayo. Okay? Tapos maglalakad. Ayan. Tapos minsan may pupuntahan ka pang mga mga um, bagay, tapos pupulutin mo siya, or even um, naglalakad ka lang talaga. So if it is palagian, so you need to consult talaga ng professionals for this one, because um this is not a normal thing na nangyayari within the normal person or the normal behavior. You need to consult some professional assistant na. Okay? So next tayo. So next we have night terrors. It is the person experiences extreme fear and screams or runs around during deep sleep. Doesn't wake fully, so relatively rare disorder. So ano bang kinaibahan nung nightmares sa night terrors? In nightmares, medyo ano pa yan, medyo, kumbaga hindi pa yan, kumbaga mild pa lang. Unlike in night terrors na ito ay masama na. No? Yung tipong um, sumisigaw na habang natutulog or even may pinsan ako before, no? I just want to share lang. Ayan, nakatulog siya and then during the REM sleep niya, um, anong nangyari na ay hindi na siya magising. So, ginigising siya maigi, binuhusan na siya ng tubig, and etc. So, talagang matindi yung nangyari sa kanya. So, meron siyang sleep disorder, which is the night terrors. So, this is the thing then na we should address. No, we need some professional assistance now with this one because hindi na siya normal. Okay? So, I hope na wala namang ganitong pangyayari sa inyo. Ayan. So, can sleepwalking be a defense against criminal charges? I want you to research about Kenneth Park's case, Scott Falator case, and even Brian Thomas case because ito yung may mga sleep disorders. So just to share lang no, about kay Kenneth Parks. Ayan. So andito yung tinatawag natin na homicidal sleepwalking. So ang ginawa niya, pinatay niya yung um, mother-in-law niya in 1987. So tinangka niya rin na patayin yung kanyang father-in-law, yung tatay and nanay ng kanyang asawa. So, nagawa ito ni Kenneth Park during the unconscious one. Ibig sabihin, tulog siya nung nangyari yun. Meron siyang sleep disorder, which is the sonambolism. And then, um, ginamit niya ito, no? Ginamit ito ni Kenneth Park para para maligtas niya yung sarili niya dun sa pagkakakulong. Kasi nga, may possibility talaga na makulong siya kasi pumatay siya ng tao. And then, yun nga, na-identify ng doctors na mayroon siyang problem when it comes to pagtulog. So, meron siyang sleep disorder whereas siya ay nag-sleepwalking pero medyo mas malala kasi talagang, kumbaga nananakit. Ayan. Pero unconsciously naman ay hindi niya alam kumbaga hindi niya alam yung nangyari. So, pwede itong magamit during the criminal charges. But andun pa rin yung process na investigations. If mapatunayan na meron talagang um, ganitong disorder or napatunayan na tulog ka talaga, unconscious na nagawa mo yon, may possibility na magamit mo. Okay? Na makalaya na hindi ka masistensyahan. But if wala talaga no, na nagawa mo yon because you are conscious, then automatic yun na ikaw ay makukulong. But I want you to read more about these cases. Ayan, paki-check nyo na lang. It can be on YouTube or even in Google. Pwede nyo silang i-search. Okay? So now, how about insomnia? Ayan. So I think this is very common. So it is a problems during sleep. First, we have insomnia. It is the inability to get to sleep, stay asleep, or get a good quality of sleep. So in insomnia, it is a sleep disorder then that is characterized by difficulty um, falling and or staying asleep. Kumbaga nahihirapan sa pagtulog. Minsan parang napapaiyak ka na lang kasi hindi ka makatulog. Pinipilit mo yung sarili mo pero yung brain mo, buhay na buhay pa siya. So that is what we call as insomnia. Next, we also have sleep apnea. It is a disorder in which the person stops breathing for nearly half a minute or more. So continuous positive airway pressure device or CPAPA. CPAP. Okay. So in sleep apnea naman, kung mapapansin natin, may mga times talaga na bigla mong hahabulin yung hininga mo kasi bigla siyang nag-stop. So pagkagising mo, parang hinihingal ka. Okay? Kasi biglang nag-stop yung yung daluyan ng paghinga. So I just want to remind everyone that this is not normal. You should consult professional assistance for this one kasi may possibility na ikamatay mo kapag nagtuloy-tuloy siya. Okay? So next we have the narcolepsy. In narcolepsy, it is a sleep disorder in which a person falls immediately into rapid eye movement sleep during the day without warning. So, cataplexy, suddenly or sudden loss of muscle tone. Kumbaga, okay, ang normal talaga na pagtulog natin ay dumadaan sa stages ng non-rapid eye movement, which is stage number 1, 2, 3, and 4, tapos REM sleep. Kapag narcolepsy, hindi ka na daraan ng non-rapid eye movement sleep, bigla ka na lang magpo-proceed sa rapid eye movement sleep. Bigla na lang, biglang ang himbing ng tulog. So another, in narcolepsy, ito ay isang neurological disorder. So ibig sabihin ng neurological coming from your brain na nakakaapekto when it comes to pagkontrol ng pagtulog at pagising. If, okay, um, kung inaantok tayo, control pa rin natin yung sarili natin, di ba? Halimbawa, nakikinig ka sa teacher mo, tapos inaantok ka, pero ikaw nakokontrol mo pa rin. In narcolepsy, hindi na. No, pag inantok ka talaga, as in diretso siya. Okay. Aside from that, another thing when we talk about narcolepsy, kumbaga labis na pagtulog sa araw na walang sagabal. Kumbaga kahit ang ingay ng paligid, no, hindi pa rin siya nagigising. As in, pag natulog siya, tulog lang talaga. Aside from that, yung tipo na hindi niya mapigilan yung pagtulog sa sa waking hours, that is not normal behavior ng isang tao. Okay? Again, you need uh, some professional assistance then for this one. Okay. So, yan. Here is some sleep disorders: sonambolism, night terrors, restless leg syndrome, nocturnal leg cramps, hypersomnia, circadian rhythm disorders, and enuresis. Okay? Paki-check nyo na lang ano yung mga symptoms here. Bibigay ko naman sa inyo yung ating PowerPoint presentation. If you think na there is abnormality when it comes to your pagtulog, again, you need some professional help na din. Okay? So, next. Ayan. So, speaking of sleep, let's talk about Sigmund Freud or Sigismund Freud. So Sigmund Freud coined the term wish fulfillment in dreams. So for this one, um, meron siyang tinatawag na manifest content and latent content here. Freud as manifest content and latent content. According to Sigmund Freud, manifest content is the dream itself. This is the actual dream. Ibig sabihin, no other meaning. Just like pag manifest content, yung mismong panaginip mo, yung image na nakikita mo during sa panaginip mo. So in latent content naman, it has something to do with the true hidden meaning of a dream or symbolic. So according to Sigmund Freud, no, na dapat tayo yung nag-i-interpret kung ano yung napapanaginipan natin. It is something to do with this theory, okay? Again, in manifest content, yung image na nakikita mo during your dream. And then in latent content naman, ano naman yung actual meaning? Ano yung hidden meaning behind nung symbol na nakita mo sa panaginip mo? And another, ayan, sinasabi din ni Sigmund Freud na nagkakaroon tayo ng wish fulfillment kapag yung unconscious natin, again, yung lagi niyang sinasabi about the unconscious desires, yung id, yung pleasure natin, na kapag ito ay napipigilan ng ego and superego, nagkakaroon tuloy tayo ng guilt sa sarili natin. So, the tendency in order for you para ma-resolve yung conflict na yon, so napapanaginipan natin siya, nananaginip tayo to resolve yung repressed conflict or yung napigilan na desire natin. Okay? So, next tayo. Next, we have the activation synthesis hypothesis. Ayan, it is the dreams are created by the higher centers of the cortex to explain the brain stem's activation of cortical cells during rapid eye movement sleep periods. So when we talk about the activation synthesis hypothesis, it is a neurological explanation of why we dream, kung bakit nga ba tayo nananaginip. So kapag ang isang tao ay tulog, yung brain natin ay nagpapalitan niya ng signals randomly. Okay? Ang alam natin kapag tulog tayo, so naka-shutdown din yung brain natin. No, hindi lahat. Yung ibang part ng brain natin, like frontal lobes, no? Yan ay naka-shutdown talaga. And even yung some other part ng cortex. Pero may mga part ng brain natin na kahit tulog ka ay nagpapalitan pa rin yan ng signal. Yes, may tinatawag tayong conscious and unconscious. And during the sleep hours natin, unconscious na talaga tayo. Okay? So, again, yung frontal lobes natin ay naka-shut down. And then, signals coming from your pons, magsisend siya ng message to your cortex. Tapos, i-interpret yung signals as dream. I just want to remind everyone na during the waking hours, yung gising ka, di ba? Marami kang nakakasalamuha, marami kang nakikita, and then nag-store siya sa brain natin. Okay? Meron tayong tinatawag na long-term memory and short-term memory. So, nag-store siya. After niyang yung nasa utak mo na siya, matutulog tayo. Again, nagfa-function pa rin yung utak natin, nagpapalitan pa rin yan ng signals. But, because you are unconscious, so tendency, instead na i-interpret ng brain mo kung ano yung nakita mo during the waking hours, so nangyayari ay nagki-create siya ng sarili niyang story. Kaya napapanaginipan natin yung isang bagay. Kaya kung mapapansin natin during the waking hours, no, napapanaginipan natin yung isang tao kasi nakita mo siya kanina. So nag-store siya sa brain mo kasi during your waking hours, kaya napanaginipan mo siya nung natutulog ka na. Okay? Aside from that, ano, um, kahit na napakatagal na nangyari, napapanaginipan mo pa rin siya. Kasi nag-store siya sa iyong long-term memory. Okay? And then, after that, pumasok pa rin siya sa kwento, sa panaginip mo. So, here is an example of what we call as activation synthesis hypothesis. Ayan. So, let us read this one. So, figure 4.4, the brain and activation synthesis theory. According to this theory, the pons in the brain system, which is located here, sends random signals to the upper part of the brain during REM sleep. These random signals pass through the thalamus. Again, here, maakyat siya, di ba? Which sends the signals to the proper sensory areas of the cortex. So once in the cortex, bawa, dito na siya. So the association areas of the cortex respond to the random activation of these cortical cells by synthesizing, making up a story or a dream using bits and pieces of life experiences and memories. So tulad ng sinabi ko kanina, coming from your pons, yung signal na na-receive niya pupunta sa mag-under or lalampas ng thalamus natin, pupunta sa cortex, and then after that, mag-create na siya ng um, sarili niyang story. That is why nananaginip tayo. Okay? Kaya kung mapapansin natin, halo-halo siya kasi hindi na nai-interpret ng brain natin kung ano ba yung right story. Okay? So next tayo. Next, we also have the activation information mode model. So it revises a version of activation synthesis, explanation of dreams, information that is assessed during waking hours can have an influence on the synthesis of dreams. Kumbaga yung informations na nakuha mo from your waking hours can have influence on the synthesis of dreams. Okay, yung pinagkaiba nilang dalawa in activation synthesis hypothesis, yung coming from your pons, pupunta siya sa thalamus, tapos nag-i-interpret ng signals and etc. That is what we call as the activation synthesis hypothesis. In activation information mode model naman, it has something to do with yung like yung kanina sinabi ko na from your waking hours, no, nakasalamuha mo yung tao, tapos tumatak siya coming from your brain, natulog tayo, tapos napanaginipan natin siya. Okay? So in short, yung informations nga na nakuha mo during your waking hours ay pwedeng maka-influence doon sa ating dream or yung synthesis of our dream. So let us proceed with this one. Next, we have hypnosis. So in hypnosis, it is a state of consciousness in which the person is especially susceptible to suggestion. I know some of you ay may ideas na when it comes to hypnosis. Okay? So by the way, bibigyan lang natin ng introduction but in your major subjects, mas makiklear pa kung ano ba talaga yung hypnosis. So when we talk about hypnosis, it is a condition involving focus when it comes to your attention, It reduces peripheral awareness and an enhanced capacity to respond to any suggestion. So, kapag na-hypnotize tayo, no, nakafocus ka lang doon sa isang bagay. Dapat kasi yung brain natin ay ano yan, no, active yan, naglalaro yan kung saan-saan. So, kapag tayo ay na-hypnotize, no, nagfo-focus lang tayo in one attention, in one stimuli. Whereas, nakafocus ka lang, yung attention mo, tapos yung ibang part ng brain mo ay biglang nag-stop na. Okay? So here are some four elements of hypnosis. First, hypnotist tells the person to focus on what is being said. Second, person is told to relax and feel tired. Third, hypnotist tells the person to let go and accept suggestions easily. And fourth one, person is told to use vivid imaginations. So, ginagamit itong hypnosis, no, para ano, mapaamin natin yung isang tao. Okay. So, next tayo. Ayan. So, here is an examples of items that would appear on a hypnotic susceptible scale. So, I want you to read all of this. Like, number one, movement of the body back and forth, closing your eyes and unable to open them, fingers locked together, one arm locked into position, and etc. So, um, ayan, some facts about hypnosis. Ito yung ano, nagagawa ng hypnosis at hindi niya nagagawa. Pero feeling natin, no, na, na nagagawa kapag na-hypnotize yung isang tao. But I want you to read this one, okay? I will give you the PowerPoint. So just to give you some, ano lang, some informations about this one. So hypnosis can, check this out, okay? It create amnesia, okay? For what, for whatever happens during the hypnotic session, at least for a brief time. Okay, nagkakaroon ng amnesia. So while the hypnosis cannot, look at this one, it gives people superhuman strength. People may use their full strength under hypnosis, but it is no more than they had before hypnosis. Kumbaga, wala naman talagang supernatural powers itong ginagawa natin when we talk about hypnosis. Okay? Again, I want you to read this one in your in our PowerPoint presentation. I am going to upload this one on Google Classroom. So next tayo. So here are some theories of hypnosis. First, hypnosis as dissociation. So hypnosis works only in a person's immediate consciousness, while a hidden observer remained aware of all that was going on. So in hypnosis as dissociation, nagkakaroon ng split when it comes to consciousness awareness. Yung first, ng part of our mind ay aware, the other is not. Okay? Again, in hypnosis as dissociation, nag-split yung consciousness, conscious awareness natin. Yung side, yung first part ay you are aware, and then yung ibang part ay hindi na, unconscious na. Next, we also have the social cognitive theory of hypnosis. People who are hypnotized are not in an altered state, but are merely playing the role expected of them in the situation. Again, in social cognitive theory of hypnosis, hindi siya altered state, hindi ka nawawala sa sarili mo, ikaw pa rin yun. Pero ang pinaka-focus ng hypnosis dito ay i-acting out mo kung ano yung sinasabi sa'yo ng isang tao or nung tao na gumawa nun sa'yo. Okay? So, next tayo. So now let's talk about some psychoactive drugs. Okay? Let us see kung ano ba yung effects nito sa atin bilang isang tao. Okay. So when we talk about psychoactive drugs, it is drugs that alter thinking, perception, and even memory. So may mga um, psychoactive drugs na nakakatulong sa atin para mabawasan yung pain. Meron naman na psychoactive drugs na nakakatulong sa atin para para mas magkaroon tayo ng energy, magkaroon tayo ng power. So let us see kung ano itong mga to. Okay? So we have physical dependence. First, we have the tolerance. More and more of the drug is needed to achieve the same effect. Just like um, kapag may diabetes tayo, kumbaga, tinutulungan niya na hindi tumaas yung sugar mo. So continuously, kailangan na siya ng katawan natin, ayan, para ma-regulate, para hindi tumaas yung sugar, para ma-maintain natin yung normal level ng body na meron tayo. That is what we call as tolerance. In withdrawal naman, it is a physical symptoms resulting from a lack of an addictive drug in the body system. Can include nausea, so kumbaga pagduduwal, pain, tremors, yung panginginig, even crackiness, and high blood pressure. So dalawa lang naman yan, no? It's either tanggapin ng katawan mo or magkaroon siya ng mga negative effects from you. So now here, so psychological dependence, the feeling that a drug is needed to continue a feeling of emotional or psychological well-being. So you know what? No, may mga part talaga ng life natin na kapag continuously na lagi mo siyang ginagawa, nasasanay tayo. At kapag nasanay na tayo, mahirap na siyang iwasan. Just like, halimbawa, sigarilyo. Ayan. So, naumpisahan mo siya, na-addict ka doon, tendency, yun na yung nagiging source of of energy mo, ng power mo. Doon mo na binibigay lahat ng attention mo sa pag-smoke na feel relaxed ka na with that one. Okay? So, ayan. Some psychoactive drugs is what we call as stimulants. So when we talk about stimulants, okay. So stimulants, it is a drugs that increase the functioning of the nervous system. Kumbaga pinapataas niya. Maliwanag, in stimulant, pinapataas yung level ng ating nervous system. Just like we have here the amphetamines. It is a drugs that are synthesized or made in laboratories rather than found in nature. So when we talk about amphetamines, it causes addiction na ang nangyayari ay nagiging paranoid tayo or delusional. So again, hindi porket stimulant na nagkakaroon ng power is positive na, it depends dun sa epekto sa isang tao. When we talk about amphetamines, no, papataas siya. So, as you can see, nagiging cause of addiction, but at the same time, nagiging delusional and paranoid ka because of this drug. Next, we also have cocaine. Here, I know some of you ay narinig na ito. It is a natural drug, produces euphoria, energy, power, and even pleasure. So in cocaine, nagkakaroon naman tayo ng intense happiness and also excitement. So next, we also have nicotine. In nicotine, it is active ingredient in tobacco. So for nicotine naman, nagkakaroon tayo dito ng sense of arousal at pinapataas nito yung blood pressure na meron tayo and even our heart. Kumbaga, kapag nagtitake tayo ng ganitong drug, mas nagiging alert yung ating brain. Nagkakaroon ng hyper-alertness when it comes to functioning of our brain. Next, we also have caffeine. Um, this drug or the stimulant found in coffee, tea, most of sodas, chocolate, and even many over-the-counter drugs. In caffeine naman, di ba, we kumbaga, ito yung panggising naman natin. It makes the user awake. So as you can see here, yung mga psychoactive drugs na ito ay stimulant because siya ay papataas. Okay? So next, so the harmful effect of nicotine are now well known, but many people continue to smoke or chew tobacco in spite of warnings. So bakit nga ba? Kasi meron siyang ingredient na nag-store siya sa utak na ikaw hindi mo mapigilan na nahanap-hanapin siya. So kapag utak na talaga yung kalaban natin, ang hirap ng mapigilan. Okay? So next tayo. Kung yung stimulant ay papataas, no, nagkakaroon tayo ng energy, whether it is positive or negative. In the present naman, ito naman yung tinatawag nating downer. Okay? Downer daw ito. Okay. So these are drugs that decrease the functioning of the nervous system. So first we have barbiturates. It is a depressant drugs that have a sedative effect. So for ano naman for barbiturates, coming from the word sedative, meaning to say, nagkakaroon ito ng ano, kumbaga pampakalma. Ito yung tinatawag natin na major tranquilizer. Ginagamitan yung isang tao, no, para makatulog siya. Ayan. Kumbaga halimbawa nasa hospital ka tapos papainumin ng gamot. So may halo siyang barbiturates whereas yung major tranquilizer para tayo ay makatulog tapos hindi mo maramdaman kung ano yung pain na gagawin sa'yo during your operation. Next. So we also have the benzodiazepines. It is a drugs that lower anxiety and also reduce stress. Kung yung major tranquilizer ay, kung yung barbiturates ay major tranquilizer, in benzodiazepines naman, it is a minor tranquilizer, has a mild depressant effect, and it is used to lower our anxiety and reduce our stress. Kasi may mga tendency talaga na kapag sobrang stress mo na, nag-lead na siya into depression. And when you are depressed because of your anxiety, no, pwede tayong gumamit nitong drug na to para from high level ng anxiety, maglo-lower siya. From the time na ikaw ay takot na takot, no, pwede tayo mag-take ng drug na ito para mas mapakalma tayo. Okay? And last one, we have Rohypnol. So, ayan nakalagay. The date rate drug. Kung yung barbiturates ay tinatawag nating major tranquilizer, yung benzodiazepines naman ay minor tranquilizer. In Rohypnol naman, tinatawag natin itong newer tranquilizer. So, ginagamit ito to a rape victim. Kumbaga, kapag nag-take siya nito, no? Halimbawa ng rape ka, tapos tinake niya ito, she will not remember that she was uh, that she was raped. Imagine, no? Even even yung panre-rape, ayan, meron pa pala siyang something na psychoactive drug na pwede mong ipainom dun sa tao para hindi niya maalala na ikaw yung nang-rape or even na-rape siya, and etc. So these are some psychoactive drugs na naglalaro or nagkakaroon ng effect sa brain natin once na tinake natin. Okay? Again, in stimulant, so papataas. In the present naman, tinatawag natin itong downer. So let us proceed with the next one. So we also have alcohol. So the chemical resulting from fermentation or distillation of various kinds of vegetable matter, often mistaken for a stimulant. Alcohol is actually a central nervous system depressant. So some people na nagsasabi na when we talk about alcohol, ito ay stimulant. Pero hindi talaga siya kumbaga yung alcohol ay hindi kumbaga nakaka-hyper, nakaka-up. When we talk about alcohol, mas more on depressant siya in our central nervous system. Mas nakaka-down siya. Okay? And some people ay, once na nag-take ng alcohol, may effect na coming from the alcohol, no? Ang nangyayari, umiinom pa ng coffee. So, instead na pampatulog mo dapat siya. So, ang nangyayari, dahil uminom ka nga ng coffee, nagkakaroon tuloy ng mas nagigising tuloy tayo. Okay? So, ayan. So, some examples here. I want you to read this one.